Good time here. You should see some smiles here.
The Roaring Twenties. This refers to the decade between 1920 and 1930. But why is it called roaring? Because this was a time when Americans started new styles of attitude, dancing, and dress, and rejected some traditional.
Eyes on me. So, World War II. World War II. During a time of depression, dictators of four nations, Italy, Germany, the Soviet Union, and Japan, saw an opportunity to expand power. Can somebody tell me what exactly a dictator is? Yeah?
Someone who controls the country with all the power and the public gets no control in power.
Yeah, so that's pretty much exactly what it is, but the definition that they have on Google is a ruler with total power over a country, typically one who has obtained control by force. So they forced their way into power, and now they control everything inside of a country. Those four dictators we were talking about during World War II were Benito Mussolini from Italy. You can see him in the first picture here. Adolf Hitler. I know everybody in here should know who that is. Germany. He's probably the most recognizable dictator from the time. And we have Joseph Stalin, the Soviet Union. That's your third picture here. And the last one, Hideki Tojo from Japan. So, those four people are accountable for a lot of people's deaths during World War II. So Adolf Hitler in Germany, they began expanding their land. However, after Germany invaded Poland, Great Britain and France declared war on Germany. So, now we have another war starting, but as the United States, we're not really close to Great Britain, France, and Germany. Those aren't really our neighbors. So, what do you guys think the United States did?
Stayed out of it.
Yeah. So, like Camden said, we stayed neutral. That's what we do. That's what we do at the beginning of. It seems like every war we've talked about so far. We don't really want involved in war. We just got out of what's it called? We just got out of the Spanish-American War. We just got out of World War I. So we just got out of the war. We don't want to get back into another world war. So we tried to stay neutral. So although many Americans didn't like Hitler, they didn't like the thought of him trying to take over other people by power. We didn't want involved in war. In 1939, President Roosevelt declared that the United States would remain neutral. We weren't going to war. President Roosevelt, however, ordered that the United States Navy to escort vessels carrying Lend-Lease supplies and to fire on any German warships they encountered. So, even though we're staying neutral, he's going to send the Navy who's carrying Lend-Lease supplies to different places. He tells them if you get in contact with a German warship and they're giving you troubles, you have to protect yourself. Yes.
How do you know what is what? Like they have their flag on it?
Yeah, I assume so. So obviously recognizable with Germany are the swastika sign, the red sign with the swastika. So that was kind of Hitler's sign and Germany's sign at the time. So I assume that would be their first sign of recognition. And does anyone know what Lend-Lease supplies is? Lend-Lease supplies? Yes. So it's during this time it was more metals and irons and oil and materials and things like that. But we were lending a lot of countries different things, leasing different properties that we had to these countries, and they would use these things. So President Roosevelt told the United States Navy, if you encounter a German warship and they're giving you troubles, I give you permission to protect yourself. So, on October 30th, 1941, a German submarine sank the destroyer USS Reuben James off the coast of Iceland that killed over 100 sailors. So, there you go. What did I tell you guys? It seems like when we try to stick this.
Did Amelia not pick up her phone after?
This day in history, February 27th.
In 1922, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the 19th Amendment, guaranteeing women the right to vote. This day in 1972 saw the conclusion of President Nixon's historic trip to China. He and Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai issued the Shanghai Communique, leading to normal relations between the two countries. Today in 1992, Tiger Woods was just 16 when he played his first PGA tournament. And on this day in 1827, New Orleans partied on as we put on their Mardi Gras masks. Before that, French residents had been forbidden to wear disguises in the Spanish-controlled region. But after Louisiana became a state, everyone was free to celebrate Fat Tuesday in style. And that's this.
Okay, so, like I said, not a good day to be in West Virginia history right now. So, I told the last class, we can take this essay two ways. We can either kind of not really care, you can just type some stuff out and send it in, or you can try your hardest on this, and this is going to count as like the test for this whole chapter. But if you guys turn it in and I see you guys didn't try, then there will be a test next week on this, and if you did bad on paper and then you do bad on test, then you just really messed yourself over. So try your best on this, okay? Because this is the test for the chapter. There's not going to be a study guide. There's not going to be a test. This is the test. Just show me what you know, okay? So I'm going to go through this. The essay needs to be around 1 page. That doesn't mean 1 page. That doesn't mean 2 pages. That means around. If you do 1/3 of the page, if you do half of a page or 3/4 of a page, as long as I see that you tried, that's the main goal. I probably shouldn't even put that on there. I don't want to put a limit on how much you can write or how little you can write, but try your best. There's a lot to write about. So if you write 6 sentences, I know you did try, because there's a lot to write about. Okay, so this essay is to cover the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, and World War II. So the Roaring Twenties, you guys have plenty of things that we talked about. You guys can use the PowerPoints I gave you. You guys can use your web quest that you had. You can use your timelines. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the Roaring Twenties. Good times, lots of inventions, different things. Great Depression, you guys know the banking process. You know how there was rough times during the Great Depression. We've done photos. We've seen everything. And World War II, we went over the PowerPoint last week, and you guys know that this was like during the pretest, you guys, not very many people missed anything on the World War II. You guys know about Hitler, you guys know about Pearl Harbor, you know about all these things, so there should be no problem with you guys writing about World War II. The essay should be broken into 5 parts. Give me a little introduction. Tell me what you're about to write about. Tell me the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, and World War II. Just tell me what you're going to write about. Little brief thing, can be 3 sentences. Then talk about the Roaring Twenties, talk about the Great Depression, and talk about World War II. And then give me a conclusion. Wrap it all up. Say, this is my essay. I've talked about the Roaring Twenties and how impactful it was, and talked about the Great Depression and how such a hard time it was, and then I talked about World War II. Just kind of wrap it up and tell me what you said. Tell me what you said in the previous paragraphs. So talk about how one event led up to another. So why were the 1920s so beautiful and everybody was so happy and people were spending money, and then how did all of a sudden in 1930 did we get to the Great Depression? And then talk about, we went from the Great Depression, we finally were getting out of the Great Depression, and somehow we were involved in World War II. So kind of just connect them. And like I said, this is a grade, and it can be taken as the test for the chapter if you try. If you take this seriously, I don't think I'm asking too much out of you guys. If you try, this can count as a test. We have 45 minutes. That's a long time to write 1 page. So take your time and give me your best effort. So that's the directions for the day. All right. Go ahead.
1920, women being right to vote.
In 1921, the Emergency Quota Act was passed by the United States Congress.
1922, the Ottoman Empire was abolished and had its last ended time.
Now, try to talk louder and try not to have your back turned to the people who are listening.
The Ottoman Empire was abolished and its last sultan, Mehmed I think that's the 11th.
In 1923, the first American president is to visit Canada. Was a Warren Harding in the 1920s.
Alright, 1924. In New York City is the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
1925, the first motel was created, and this was
garages launched the first liquid fueled rocket on March 16th.
1927, Charles Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic Ocean in the first solo flight.
1928. First kids movie during the Roaring '20s was Sound and Mickey Mouse.
1929, crash of the stock market leading to the Great Depression.
1930, the New Deal began trying to get out of the Great Depression.
1931. The George Washington Bridge opened in New Jersey, leading for easier car access.
1932, Amelia Earhart is the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean.
1933, Adolf Hitler rose to Germany as leader.
1934. John Dillinger is shot outside a Chicago movie theater.
In 1935, the dust storm hits America, leading to major air pollution.
1936, President Roosevelt was re-elected.
1937. San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge opened.
In 1938, the first working helicopter was created.
1939, 30 cents an hour was middle wage.
The history of our country is truly amazing. Did you know these historical facts?
It was minimal. Good job, guys. Good job. That's a
Good
good
job.
one to get started on. Everybody was involved. Tyler wasn't here yesterday, so he didn't really do much reading. He got to hold the poster, but each person read off. That's what I want to see today. I want to see everybody kind of be involved. Camden, you want to go second?
I have a question.
What?
How am I supposed to like hold it and read it? Do I just like?
I'll hold it for you. Do one of these numbers, or they'll hold it for you. All right, let's go. Camden's up. Stay with me, or you guys can move on at your own pace. It's up to you. Number 1. What were some of the new inventions that occurred during the Roaring '20s? A. Pop-up toaster. B. Frozen dinners. C. Gas stoves. Or D. All of the above. Number 2. Signs of the Great Depression began to arise. What was one of the signs? A. Lack of food in stores. B. Government shutdown. C. Many crash market crashes. Or D. Overpopulation. Number 3. What is Black Tuesday? The day that 50% of Americans were going hungry. The day that the United States went into World War II, the day that we classify as Pearl Harbor, or the day or the name given to the day that the stock market officially crashed. Number 4, in 1932, how many Americans became unemployed? 3 million, 25 million, 12 million, or 13 million? Number 5, what organization played a huge role in helping the American people during the Great Depression? A. Goodwill. B. American Red Cross. C. Walmart. Or D. The USS banking system. Number 6, who became president in 1932 that dragged the United States out of the Great Depression? A. Franklin Roosevelt. B. Theodore Roosevelt. C. Harry Truman. Or D. Lyndon B. Johnson. Number 7. The president in 1932 suffered from a very serious disease. What was that disease? A. Alzheimer's disease. B. Polio. C. Ebola. Or D. Dementia. Number 8. The idea to save the United States from the Great Depression was called the New Deal, the Pledge to America, Bringing Back the U.S., or D. Lifting America. Number 9. Name the dictator or dictators that were involved in World War II. Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, Joseph Stalin, or all of the above? And last, what day did Pearl Harbor occur on? A, December 7th, B, December 12th, C, January 11th, or D, November 23rd? Okay, just come hand me all your tests. Right here.
Just want to introduce you.
Thank you.
What's up?
Thank you.
Right there. Good.